Hi students, I just wanted to check in with you and kind of give you some information on your informative speech and some information on your persuasive speech, which is coming up. First of all, we're halfway through the semester. Isn't that crazy? So I want to encourage you to keep going, keep progressing along the way. You're doing great. I know it's a lot of work each week, but you're halfway done and it'll go by very quickly. So I want to encourage you in that. You're all doing really well. I'm impressed with the discussion boards. I appreciate how you're giving feedback to your classmates, and so continue that. That's really good stuff. Let's talk about your informative speech for a moment. So this speech had a lot more standards than the introduction speech that you gave last week. So therefore there's a little bit tougher grading involved. So when you look at your grades, they're not bad, don't get discouraged, but they're probably not as high as they were last week. And so what I want you to do is be sure that you go, and I've sent you a message, go look at my attached comments on your speech and really get some personalized feedback so you can know exactly the things that you are doing well, because all of you are doing many things well, and you'll also be able to see some things that you need to work on. We all need to work on things. We all need to improve some aspect of our public speaking, and so that's just part of the process. So go in and read those comments. I think they were sent maybe to your messaging, your inbox for Canvas, and so check that. Make sure that you go in and review the examples and the explanations of outlining, speaker notes, PowerPoint, delivery. All of these things were in content pages that were linked on the assignment. So if you go back to the informative speech assignment page where you posted your assignment, you'll see the big explanation for the assignment, and you'll see some blue links that have, a outline example or sample speaker notes, and it'll also have some information on how to go about developing those things. Please read that. That's very important. I want to talk specifically about outlining and speaker notes. These are some things that we were a little bit weaker on, and so I want to go ahead and address them again, and encourage you to go back and review these items that's back in the module from last week. So outlines, first of all. An outline is the foundation of your speech. We've got to do outlines. I know you're thinking, I don't want to outline. It's a waste of time. I already know what I'm doing. The outline affects so much more than what you think. An outline will help ensure smoother delivery. It will help ensure organization. It will give you a sense of confidence that you know the direction of your speech. So the outline really does have a foundational purpose to your presentation. So make sure that you have a full sentence, structured, typed outline that is attached to your video. So when you upload your video, there's also a little opportunity for you to attach a document to your submission. Go ahead and attach your outline there. Many of you did that, and it seemed to work well. There were a few of you that were missing your outline. So make sure that you understand for your persuasive speech this is a requirement as well, so have an outline. The next thing we need to talk about is speaker notes. I noticed that many of you used your full sentence outline as your speaker notes. This is not the purpose of the full sentence outline. The full sentence outline is like the behind the scenes kind of structural foundation for your speech. It's not to be used in the actual delivery of your speech. Now you're saying, well, what's the purpose? Why put me through this? The full sentence outline helps you put your words on your paper. It gives you structure and organization, okay? We've gone through that. We need to convert that full sentence outline into what's called speaker notes. Speaker notes are an abbreviated version of that full sentence outline. And so what those speaker notes will do, usually you put them on a note card. Here's an example of my speaker notes for this particular presentation. I don't know if you can see that because it looks like they're showing it backwards, but anyway. You can see that it's not full sentences, it's bullet points, short phrases and words that just help guide you along your speech. Usually I have a speaker note per main point, and I have a speaker note for a note card for my introduction and for my conclusion. So if we have a speech that has 3 main points, I'll have a speaker note or a note card for my introduction, first main point, second main point, third main point, and conclusion. So I'll have 5 note cards, all bullet pointed information, no full sentences on my note cards. All they're doing is helping me guide my way through the speech. Okay, so how does this work? A lot of us like the comfort of this full sentence outline being right here in front of us. The problem with having a full sentence outline in front of us is that we tend to read from it. I do not want you to get up in front of your audience and get a piece of paper and just look down and read the whole entire time. This is not what we want to do. And some of us are even like covering our faces when we're reading. Do not have a full-size piece of paper. Do not have a full sentence outline in front of you. Have note cards or smaller pieces of paper with abbreviated notes on them that help guide you through the speech. Okay? Now, in order to speak this way, this is extemporaneous speaking. You may recall we studied that last week. Extemporaneous speaking is very conversational. It's natural speaking. It's prepared speaking, hence the outline. But we know the outline so well that all we need is a note card with just a few guidelines to help us remember our main points and some of the subpoints. And so the note card is just to help guide you along the way. So you need to practice because you need to know your speech well enough to be able to just refer to your note card when you need to and then look back up and make eye contact at your audience, with your audience. So what I suggest is start practicing using your full sentence outline. Read it out loud, time yourself, do this 2 or 3 times, and get familiar with the content. Then switch over and use your speaker notes to practice. The first time you use your speaker notes will be very awkward, so just prepare for this. Get it over with, get it out of the way. You're going to stumble because you're not going to have those full sentences in front of you. Then keep practicing with the speaker notes and get familiar with them, get comfortable with them. You're never going to say the same speech twice. It won't be exactly the same each time. But just get familiar with your content and get comfortable with it so you can glance down at those notes and then glance back up, look back up at your audience. That's the way you use speaker notes. That's the way we want to do it for the persuasive speech. Practice with it. You'll do great. It's a different way of speaking, but it's a great way of doing it because it allows for this conversational tone and it allows for contact with the audience with your eyes. The last thing that I want to say is about PowerPoint. Do not use PowerPoint as your speaker notes. Some of you, all of you had great PowerPoint. Make sure that you don't turn and look at your PowerPoint too much. Obviously, you can turn and refer to it, but always come back and make eye contact with the audience. The other thing is we don't want to stay turned and use this as our notes. We have notes in front of us if we need them. We can glance down and glance back up. Don't want to turn our backs on the audience, so make sure we're not doing that with our PowerPoint. All right, the persuasive speech is coming up next. Pick a topic and pick a side of that topic. I gave a little explanation of this in this week's announcement, and so go back and check that. Don't just say, oh, I want to talk about gun control, and here's the pros and here's the cons. No, let's hear your opinion. What do you think? Should we be able to own guns? Should we have the right to own guns, or should they be banned? So give us your opinion, but also back your opinion up with facts. Usually you'll want to have several reasons why you believe something. Those reasons can become your main points, so you can have 2 or 3 main points to back up your main thesis or big idea for this speech. So make sure that you take a stance on an issue and back it up with credible resources. If you are not citing verbally your sources, you need to start. This sounds something like, according to the National Rifle Association, 8 out of 10 Americans believe that we should have the right to own a gun. Okay, so that's an example of citing sources. Cite credible sources, not somebody that doesn't have any credibility in your topic. Overall, you're doing a great job. Keep progressing, keep getting better with each speech. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out. Have a great week. Bye-bye.